actual messages from my YouTube channel. Why don't you just fart at the camera for 15 minutes? It would probably be less offensive. These are the sorts of things that we get. It should come as no surprise to you. We see online harassment, online insults, scaling up to online bullying all the time on all social platforms. It's now become part of the fabric of our society, and we're the worse for it. When stuff like this happens on my channel, I don't let it bother me. If it's truly offensive, I remove it, but I have fun with it. I mean, if somebody says, why don't you just fart at the camera for 15 minutes? My reply is, I wish I could. I could probably do 3-4 minutes tops. I don't let them have the last word, and I actually kind of celebrate it. I share all of these things on my Facebook page, which my Facebook friends love. It's a favorite part of being my friend on Facebook, apparently, is my comments of the week as I share irreverent comments from followers on YouTube. Now, but it's become endemic though, and it's a problem in our society in a lot of places because it hurts. A lot of people are hurt. A lot of you, if you depending on the mindset that you are in when you receive criticism online, which is usually unwarranted, often almost always anonymous, and or I guess not always anonymous, certainly not with Facebook. It's less anonymous. But there's this filter, this common decency filter that seems to be removed from us when we are commenting on Facebook or Instagram or in a lot of these public forums. This all came to light to me first. The first time I saw this happen, the first personal experience I had, was back when we were doing our TV show, one of our first TV shows, and we had an email address for the show where people could email in questions and comments to us, and I received I kept it for the longest time. I've lost it, but we printed it off because it was. I can remember I had an assistant who handled all of the email to the show, and she was very upset. She came up to me and said, "Steve, I've got an email I have to show you, but I don't know what to do with it, and I don't want you to be mad." And the email said, and I quote, "I hope you choke on a donut and die, you fat lard ass." It's an elegant turn of phrase, is it not? I remember it verbatim. "I hope you choke on a donut and die, you fat lard ass." And I looked at it and I laughed. And she thought, "Oh, you're not upset?" I said, "Well, what a ridiculous thing to be upset about. You know, there's thousands of people who like our show. Here's somebody that doesn't like me, and I'm not the sveltest person on the earth. I think it's rather mean to say that he hopes I choke on a donut and die, but this person obviously is a sad case." But I wasn't going to let it go. So my immediate response was I wrote an email that I had her send to him, and she went, "Really?" I said, "Yes." So the email that went back to him was an auto reply. And I said, "This has to look like it's an automatic reply." So we changed our email address to say auto reply from, I think it was Dotto's Data Cafe was the name of was the show that he sent it into. And it said, "Thank you very much for your email to Dotto's Data Cafe. If you want an autographed picture of Steve, please send a self-addressed stamped envelope too." And then I gave the address of the studio, which probably I shouldn't have done now. But just to let him know that it hadn't been seen by anybody, but it was being automatically responded to with our normal cheerful manner. And he sent back a reply almost immediately, which was just full of vitriol and just spouting, and I could see sparks shining, and I knew I'd won that round, and I just kind of let it die at that point there. But it taught me a valuable lesson, and it probably inoculated me to future criticism that came online later, because I saw that first email for what it was somebody who just wanted to be mean. And I also had enough sense of self and sense of what we were doing as a team to know that our project was good and what we were doing on TV was helping people, and we were contributing our part. And so the criticism was coming from somebody who really didn't have a voice, as far as I was concerned. So that later on, when I started my YouTube channel and the YouTube comments started to come, we got the preponderance of them are very positive, but occasionally there's a negative one. And I think a lot of people, when they get those first negative comments, it hits them hard. And I don't know why. I don't know what the mechanism is in our DNA that causes these slights from others to cut so deeply. And not everybody is affected by them harshly. And we're not talking about constructive criticism. We're not talking about, the concept of hugging your haters and taking advantage of and listening to what people are, legitimate criticism that people are delivering to you, even if it's a little bit hurtful, that you can use to improve your product and you can improve what you're doing. I'm talking about this sort of crap that comes out that unfortunately causes many people who start into the online space to retreat. And here's the other thing that happens. Some people retreat and they just go, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to, I don't want to expose myself to this kind of abuse. And that's a tragedy. That's truly sad. But even worse is that it colors our impression of the value of the content that we create. If you get, I'm going to tell you this right up front, and it happens to me too. I will get 10, 20, 30 positive comments, which I appreciate, and I reply to, and I respond to. I let everybody know with a little thumbs up or a little click, a happy face that I've read their comment, and it's a thank you. And it's wonderful that we are being supportive, and those comments mean a lot. But the weight of a criticism seems to land more acutely. And people will get 20 positive comments, 1 negative comment, and they will obsess on the negative comment. I get emails from my friends, comments from my friends. What should I do with this person who criticized them? And I said, how many positive comments did you get this week? Oh, that doesn't matter. What should I do with this person? No. Look at the positive comments. Deal with those. Let this person go. So I'm going to give you some of my best advice right now on dealing with negative comments. As you can see from my style, negative comments I deal with humor, and I try and take the mickey out of the person. I try and turn it into power for me and take the power away from them by not letting them bother me and actually having fun with whatever it is they say. And I think that is the best way to deal with things. Now, I will note that there are some comments that are hateful, racist, that I just delete and I just ignore, and I block those people from my channel. They have no place in civil discourse, as far as I'm concerned, if they're going to be like that. All of the people that you've seen me comment in this video, they can still comment on my channel because I want them to see my reply. And if they come back with something more hateful, if they get worse, then I will ultimately block them. But for the most part, I try and take the power away from the person. And you can do that by letting them know if it's important to you to let them know. Obviously, for me, my ego says that I want to let them know that I have the last word. So I take the last word and I take the power of my position, then the power of blocking and the power of reply, and I use that and I wield it ruthlessly back at them. But you can just delete them. You can just delete their comments and ignore them. Now there is a gray area. There's an area where people are rude to you, and it's an area that you've taken a shortcut or something that you have an insecurity about. And that is insidious. That is the one that really does kind of, that gets to me as well. If somebody criticizes a video and I know I didn't do as good a job on it as I could have, or I had to make a compromise, as far as as we put the video together, there's a chance that there was a compromise in some way with what we've done. And I always know that acutely myself. And if somebody points it out, that's one thing. If they pointed it out legitimately and properly, I'll reply and I'll tell them, there were mitigating factors, which is why the video came out this way. But if they're really rude at that point then I'm on the horns of dilemma because they actually have a point. It's just they expressed it really terribly. And at that point those are the ones that I kind of ponder. But for the most part, when a hateful message comes in for me, it becomes a positive thing or a rude message. I won't say hateful, because hateful I will delete. But when a rude message comes in poking fun at my weight or my beard or my age or any of those sorts of things, that's just grist for the mill. It actually gets a big smile on my face, and I start to ponder what my reply should be. And then I share that reply with my Facebook community, and then I'm supported by everybody saying, Steve, you're so funny and clever. I love these. And so that really works out well for me. But it takes power back away from them. So I guess, if we're going to want to have a little bit of a message today in our video, is this kind of online crap is just the tip of the iceberg for the whole world of online bullying, and things get more and more severe as we go down that path. But I think that we can start to take a little bit of power away from these people by A, ignoring them, B, blocking them, or C, best of all, ridiculing them back. And maybe that's a harsh way of putting it, but letting them know, shining a light on their incivility and letting them know that it doesn't bother you. If they think that it bothers you, they can do more. They get what they're looking for from it. Don't give them that satisfaction. That's a good way of putting it. Don't give them that satisfaction. A little bit of a different vlog today. If you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, make sure you subscribe. Till next time, have fun storming the castle.